I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Hello there. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And Alva wins the prize. Yeah, there's exactly way too much crap going on for me to take 20 minutes to plop my butt down in a barber's chair for a cut and a talk and a shave and carrying on. There is exactly too much going on. We can cut our hair when we're dead. We can cut our hair in the winter. We can cut our hair next year. There's no election season, and it's kind of like a full moon, I think. The politicians all get antsy and all get going crazy, and I think that's what they do. They all start doing crazy shit. And so I think next year we'll be able to finally get a haircut. Holy crap. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We have made it. It is Thursday. Lord, hallelujah, have mercy. We have had a busy week. We've had a busy 2 weeks, and it has been crazy. I was going to get into preaching there, but I think I'll probably back that off some there. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thursday night show. You know, it's my Friday, but it doesn't really mean anything, honestly, because we've been busy, and it's going to be busy on this weekend. Hello there, Tim. Hello, GW. Hello. Welcome to the people. I'm trying to get over there to the comments. Chris Bunner, Alva, Clinton, John, Michael, Tim, Alva again, just because I wanted to say it. Let's see, Cloud, StreamYard, the Duck, and everybody else. Hey, real quick, before we get into it, we won't spend much time. Thank you for being here. If you're on one of the other platforms, fantastic. We love you, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, Twitter, TikTok, whatever. Thank you. Please share the show with everyone you know over there. Share the feed, share the link, do whatever you got to do. We greatly appreciate it. If you're on our home link, our home feed, our home channel of YouTube, please do the YouTube things. You know what to do. Click the like button before you leave. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Click the bell and do all of that. I need to say it. I need to get like a fun little thing like Anthony Fontano has. I don't know. Anyways, share the show with everyone you know. Talk to us. We're very interactive. That's what we like. You'll want to go over here and comment over here. Comment down here if you're watching on your own time in repeat or replay. But if you're watching us live on broadcast night, that's where you want to be. Hey, from there, you guys know what to do, so we can put that to rest. I do want to say a little bit of a funny before we get started. Last night we shared that thing. I've got a soundboard coming. I've been looking at them. I've got it nailed down to 2. I mean, I've got a soundboard. You mean an effects board is what you're talking about. The thing that's got the little cubes with the soft little pad that you press, and you can have loaded sounds in there that we hook up to our mixer. I've got it picked down, narrowed down to 2. So I'm gonna make a choice here soon, and we're gonna pull the trigger. No. So last night, if you guys weren't here and you weren't watching live, we did something that I've talked about doing for a long time. And that was last night, I played about a 4-minute clip from the 1976 movie Network. And it's the movie, for those of you that weren't here or don't know, it's the movie that has the monologue that in our intro, the guy that's talking in there and he's bitching about random things. It's that movie. And so the thing is, people always play that part where he's saying the monologue, but then that's all you see. So I wanted to show people a little bit further than that. And I wanted people to see that. And so we showed that last night. And then right after we showed it, I went into the rebuttal by Mike Jones talking about Counselor Ryan Webb's thoughts and my thoughts. And I was talking about that, and we had a little mishap where the YouTube algorithm, the YouTube gods, the people from beyond in YouTube land, they cut the feed for exactly like 1 minute and 7 seconds. And it was really weird because they didn't cut it during the actual copyrighted material. And so it freaked us out, whatever. We came back on. Well, today, when I finally got the notification, that we had a copyright strike, I went in and I looked at the video, and they didn't have that section in the video where they cut anything out. It didn't. I was going to go in there and cut that section out, but it didn't. So instead, what I did is I went into that video and surgically cut from the beginning anything where I talked about cutting the video and saying like, oh man, we're getting ready to cut this. You guys won't be able to see this. I cut all of that content out. And then when Kate pops on and says, hey, sorry to tell you, we, you've been talking, we were dead for a few minutes. I cut all of that out. So now people who watch that video from last night, they get to see it in all of its intended glory. They get to see the video as it starts. They get to hear my intro monologue. They get to see the 4-minute video of Network. And they get to hear the entire rebuttal from Mike Jones without any delay. It's amazing. It's fantastic. The only thing is we don't get any money from last night's video. So it's a little hit in the pocket, but not much. It is what it is. But the video is there, and it is fantastic. So that made me very, very, very happy. Okay. We've got a lot to talk about tonight, folks. Barely treading water here. We've got so much going on the national level. Like, we are literally to the point where we should start talking about national level stuff, like at least once a week somewhere in here. But we can't get out from underneath these local officials long enough to actually even get into it. Because these local people everywhere are doing so much insane craziness that it's nuts. we've got an absolutely bizarre Muncie City Council, Muncie City Mayor's Administration being two different entities. The Mayor's Administration versus the Council versus the Clerk's Office. We've got this budget royale, battle royale type of thing setting itself up, which has been exactly bizarre and wonky. At the exact same time that the Delaware County Council is in their hours and hours and hours of budget meetings. And let me tell you, folks, you want to talk about some of the absolute driest content. Like, I love it because I'm a political junkie, but for normal people, it's worse than watching paint dry. However, there are a few golden nuggets in amongst the turd that is the budget process. And most of those scenarios involve Ryan Webb and Emily Anderson, Ryan Webb and Ed Carroll, Ryan Webb and Jessica Piper, Ryan Webb and Ryan Webb. It's amazing. It's amazing. And as he said, imagine how less entertaining those meetings will be next year. Yes, next year they will be an absolute snooze fest, folks. It's going to be horrible. So we got to take what we can get when we can get it. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the city of Muncie. We're going to be talking about the Delaware County budget. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, we have big breaking news about James King and his speech from last Tuesday. But before we even get into the breaking news, I'm going to let you guys, this is going to be like this is the second time this afternoon I've said this. Choose Your Own Adventure. You guys remember those books? Choose Your Own Adventure books? I'm convinced that all of the elected officials around here would have the worst time reading those. Dan Ridenauer starts reading the Choose Your Own Adventure. He's on page 2, and it says, to investigate further in the old scary forest, jump to page 15. Or to go down into the basement and look for clues, jump to page 5. And he always picks the one that leads him to certain death and doom within the first turn of the page. Like, he has the worst instincts of any elected official I know, but they all have bad instincts. It's horrible. I've never met another group of individuals. Thank God that these people are elected officials and are paid by tax dollars, and that they don't need these powers as elected officials to like forage for food and live and survive, because if so, they would just all be dead. They have the worst instincts possible. So here's what I'm going to ask you. We have breaking news that involves these email chain, and I got a rather funny story about that too, as we get into it. But I also have a brief, little ironic, funny story, political irony to tell you. And so my question is, do you want to hear the political irony at the end of the show, or do you want to hear the funny now and then get into the heavy serious? You want to do the heavy serious up front, or do you want to do the funny now and then get into the heavy serious? The funny is literally just about a few minutes. Like it's a quick run. Here is now. Story time with Chris. Give it now. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's talk about Nora at the end of the show. All right. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. All right. So here's the deal, folks. Last night when we were on, Counselor Webb made this number one now. I don't even know what number one now is. Is number one the breaking news?
Number one was the political funny thing, I thought. Okay, emails or funny story. That's what you guys need to type in. Email, funny story. Go.
Tell me, what say one of those. And while you're doing that, I'm going to talk and it will lead both ways. Too many will leave by end. Let's just hear it now. Okay. All right. That's good. All right. This is that you're probably right about too many will leave at the end. All right. So here we go. We can do this real bang it through quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some pretty crazy people involved in local politics. And I want you guys to know that like political irony happens quite frequently. So as citizens of Muncie are aware, the Tillotson Avenue at Riverside on the city's northwest side is closed due to safety concerns for Indiana-Michigan Power I&M crews installing the underground equipment. The closure started on Monday, August 19th, 2024, and is slated to last approximately 4 weeks, weather permitting. Because of the closure, detours have been routed for drivers needing to get around the closed section of roadway. During this closure, citizens have not followed the detour signs. That's just what happens. Look, I was a cop. People do not like to follow cops directing traffic. They don't like to follow stop signs. They don't follow stoplights. They definitely don't follow construction or detours. That just they don't do that. Drivers are idiots. Okay. So Muncie drivers are no different. They have not been following these detours. Obviously the detours are set up for drivers that need to get around the closed section of roadway. Because these heathens in the area have been driving the way they've been driving and doing what they've been doing, it's not been as safe as it should or could be, which has caused Muncie's District 2 City Councilor Nora Powell, Democrat, to reach out to the mayor's office asking for help in addressing the issue. She lives in the area. She's the counselor of the area, so it would make sense that she would do that. But a couple sources have indicated to me that Counselor Powell has asked the mayor's administration on more than one occasion to have police officers step up patrols in the area to pull over any and all miscreants that do not follow the detour signage. Apparently, in Counselor Powell fashion, she has been pretty insistent, and she's starting to annoy people basically in the mayor's office and around City Hall with this. This is where we now are going to insert the irony. At some point in the last week or so, Muncie City Police did what they were asked. They stepped up patrols in the area. And as it goes, it did not take long for a Muncie monster behind the wheel driving in the area of the road closures to see the detour signs and then promptly ignore those said detour signs. MPD's extremely amazing patrol stepped up. They activated their emergency lights and sirens. They pulled the criminal over and they walked up to the detour deviance window and asked for license and registration, only to find that they were looking down at none other than Muncie's District 2 City Councilor Nora Powell. Womp womp. All city councilors are presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Dum dum. So, yeah, that's the situation. Nora asks for police to be stepped up, patrols to be stepped up in the area of the road closure because people are not following the detour signs. She starts to annoy people at City Hall with this request. They finally step up the patrols in the area, and they quickly pull over a car in which she was driving, not paying attention, not following the detour signs. And honestly, yes, that is rules for thee, but not for me. This is just absolutely par for the course with Nora. Now, I will say that this is embarrassing for her, should be embarrassing for her. At the end of the day, it's not the worst thing in the world, yada, yada, it's a joke, whatever. So we can throw some shade at her. However, I will now throw just a touch of shade back to the Ridenauer administration and the police department, because from what I'm hearing, they didn't ticket her. They did not ticket her. Yeah, Ryan. Yeah. Nora was driving the car. I am going to issue a records request to find out, because they should have body camera footage of this. And if I can find the body camera footage of this, that would be like Christmas morning. So I will be requesting this. I will be looking for this, but there's your political irony. And that little chuckle can then allow for you to get on with the rest of the insanity that we are about to hear. Okay, so everybody, we started this week off. This is the breaking news portion. Okay. So, Monday's Labor Day. Tuesday, because Monday was Labor Day, was a makeup Delaware County Commissioners meeting. And Chief Muncie. Everybody, I will be getting, I will do everything I can to get this body camera footage. I promise you that. So, okay, on to the breaking news. At Tuesday's council meeting, commissioners meeting, rather, Delaware County Commissioners meeting, in the middle of the commissioners meeting, James King and Shannon Henry just kind of surprise everybody. And they issue this moratorium. Now, I am still stating everything that I've stated before. I'm happy the moratorium is in place. It will give us time, give the people that are fighting this time. This is good. And from everything that I am hearing, my wildest dreams have come true. The people didn't buy into this in the way that they're like, okay, we're done. No. They still realize how serious this is. They're still involved. The fight is still on, and they are still fighting it. Okay, that makes me as happy as I can be. At the meeting, James King made some rather strange statements. Okay. He said things like, we didn't know anything about this. We didn't know anything about this. And, carrying on like that, being the regular king that he is. And, I told everybody, listen, You cannot believe what this man is saying. Just because he is sitting in front of you and opening his mouth and saying, I didn't know anything about this, you cannot buy that, because he changed his position and what he knew and when he knew it several times during the Gaston ordeal. And it changes a lot on a lot of the things that he does. So keep in mind, a lot of people, this is their really first interaction with King. But it's just a Tuesday or a Thursday for me. It's just like par for the course with King and everything else that he does. And Shannon the same way. And Sherry gets it too, because she either is complicit or allows for it to happen, at which point she's complicit. So they all three get this. They all three get the criticism here. Okay. However, it was King that really stepped up, and King made some claims that were really kind of strange. All right, I'm gonna let you hear this.
Yes, Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King. Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Morning, Commissioners. John Catino, Emergency Management Director. Any other department heads or elected officials that would like to speak? They're still in contact. I have no idea. Bill Hughes.
Here we go.
Official had been contacted with any permits to start construction on the land. No solar can at this point in time. Tell the moratorium is done. Well, nothing can happen right now until the moratorium is released.
Well, any information on that? I heard nothing about, I had drove right over the house and then all.
I spoke to this renewable energy Thursday. First time I spoke to this company. They started getting their leases in 2020. I asked them why no elected official had been contacted. Well, that's not what they do. They get their leases and they get all their stuff set in place before they notify anybody. So this has been going on since 2020. From my understanding, they contacted one elected official a few months ago, and that was about a tax abatement. That was Councilman Bill Hughes. They contacted him about a tax abatement. I don't know what he told them. I don't know if they're still in contact. I have no idea. Bill Hughes. He's the only elected official that I know of that they've contacted. Because it really bothers me that elected officials, we see everybody in here in this room. We should have been contacted. We should have been notified or something prior to anybody getting any letters. I still don't have a letter that I've seen from this company, and that really bothers me that happens. And even prior to speaking with them, that's the reason why I got a hold of Mr. Brooks about this.
Okay. So King is going on making it sound as if he has never heard from these people, doesn't know anything about it, and he's pissed off that it's like that. All right. Now, listen, I heard him make very similar claims about the situation in Gaston, and he flopped back and forth. So when he said this, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And here's the deal. I've heard people say, well, we need to be nice and polite and respectful to these people. Okay? Listen, I'm not telling anyone to not be respectful. I'm not telling anyone to be different than how you feel you should be. But there's nothing wrong with showing some anger. There's nothing wrong with saying, we're not happy. There's nothing wrong saying, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. There's nothing wrong with telling these people This is what we want. This is what we want done with this. We don't want you guys involved with this anymore. All right. So it's very important that people understand that. All right. Very important. All right. Let me click to you and now tell you what the issue is. So last night, while we're talking about this random thing, okay, various issues last night, Counselor Webb comes on and says, hey, I have email chain proving that what James said was not accurate. My ears perk up, because if you recall Tuesday night when we talked about this, when we had Ryan on, I said, man, I am not sure what's going to come of this, because King really kind of threw Bill under the bus, Bill Hughes, when he's like, he talked to him. He's the only person in the county talked to him. I was like, whoa, that's kind of crazy that he's doing that, because and this is very important. During the council meeting on August 27th, Bill Hughes stood in the meeting. Well, he sat in the meeting, but he was in the meeting and he spoke and he said, I feel like you guys think like we know more than what we know. We don't. And he went on and Bill said, like, I don't really know anything about this. Okay. I'm gonna let you hear this.
Appeals takes into account, and anyone's interested should review those. And one final point, the board decision of the Board of Zoning Appeals, you can't say that
any case that's on the agenda. But the normal Plan Commission BZA does not have an open public forum for general comments. It's just what they are making a decision on at that meeting.
The only agenda items.
Yes.
But they take the recommendation from the planning commission?
They get
Commission's website, I think, is where I found it.
In almost a year. So, everyone here is taking that seriously.
Anyone else?
and please keep us informed. I think you think we know
Here we go. Listen, here's Bill Hughes.
more than we do.
I'll turn this on because it's hard to hear.
In the meeting last week. So I just implore everybody to continue to do what we mentioned in that meeting last week about, setting up and organizing and communicating your concerns and doing just that. And I think I can speak for everybody when we say, everyone here is taking that seriously.
That's Cance. Here comes Hughes right here.
Anyone else?
And please keep us informed. I think you think we know more than we do. I have had no contact from.
Please keep us informed. I think you think we know more than we do. I've had no contact.
National Grid was that
From
the
National
name?
Grid,
I've
was that
never
the
heard
name?
before.
I've
had
never
no
heard that name
contact from
before.
Anyone representing them. So
I've had
everything
no
I knew about
contact
it,
from
I
anyone
learned more
representing
about
them.
today than I've known before. So please keep
I've learned more about it today than what I've known before. So please keep us
us informed.
informed as well.
I understand, but
All right. So that's what Bill Hughes said back on the 27th. All right. So that's what he said. So people immediately started to take a little bit of heat and put it towards Bill Hughes. Well, when Counselor Webb stated last night that he had these emails, I started doing my thing, working to work to try and acquire these emails. And I sent some correspondence out last night after the show. And this morning, I got correspondence that said, from the person I sent these to, "What are you talking about? I sent these to you yesterday." And I was like, "What?" So I went back through my emails, and lo and behold, before I even went on air last night, yesterday morning at about 10:30, I received these emails. And so right now we're going to put these emails up on the screen. And I want to say this before we do this. I want to say, the counselors talk to lots of different people. For someone to maybe lose track of a name, I don't particularly, I'm not going to fault anybody. I'm not going to fault Jessica for that. I'm not going to fault James King for that. Now, if it's someone that you're having routine business with, yeah, and I want my people to be open and honest. I respect Bill Hughes. I might not agree with everything that he does on all of his votes, and I might disagree with some of his actions from time to time. But overall, Bill Hughes is one of the good guys. He's not a bad person, and I think he does try. I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings here, but I'm just going to call it like I see it. He's been around a while. He's been in government for a while. He's served, a wonderful life of service as an attorney and doing the job that he's done, and when I look at Bill, I look at like my grandparents, I love my grandparents. I don't know that I would want them being elected officials in city or county government. You know what I mean? I want them to be at home, enjoying their life and doing their things. And if they need help, they can get help. My grandparents are the first people to tell you that politics is for a younger person. It's a younger man and younger woman's game. When you're 82 years old, 83 years old, I don't know that you should probably be politicking. Just common sense. So I'm not going to begrudge Counselor Hughes for getting a name that he heard in May, if he heard it once or twice, and it just out the, I understand that. I forget things all the time, and I've got a great memory. But what I will say about this is I give him tons of respect for coming forward and for owning up to what the situation is. Keep in mind, Ryan Webb first voted to support this, but we're not jumping down his throat because he owned up to his mistake. He flipped it around, and he's now on the side of right in this fight. And so we support him for this. So I look at Hughes very much in the same way, and this is why. This is an email that came. Let me try to get this thing off the screen here. Oh yeah, thank you there. This is an email that came up that Bill sent. This is from William Hughes to the commissioners and to the council members. My name came up in today's commissioners meeting in connection with the solar projects. Here is the complete email thread of the contact I had with the developers council. And when we're saying council, it's spelled SEL, not CIL. So it means we're talking about the attorney, the developer's attorney. In reviewing this tonight, I realized that she did use the name National Grid. At the August council meeting, I said I had never heard that name, but I was mistaken. Contact me if you have any questions. Now, I have verified this, so I'm fine to say this. Bill Hughes is being transparent. Bill sent me this email. Bill, I believe, is an upstanding, transparent individual, and I don't think he's trying to hide anything. Along with this email, he sent me the other email thread. The other emails. And so this was dated Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024 at 10:58 p.m. So he sent this out the night of the meeting, which means he was living his life on Tuesday and he heard James King throw him under the bus, trying to get people to be mad at Bill. And I'll give you my theory on why that happened in a moment. But he threw him out there just like it. Listen, King wouldn't have done that if it was Shannon Henry. King wouldn't have done that to himself. King probably wouldn't have done that to Jessica Piper. But he didn't have a problem doing it to Bill Hughes, and I'll tell you why I think that in a minute. Okay? Now, let's look at the chain. All right? The very first email came in to Bill Hughes on May 16th at 11:52 a.m. from Mary E. Salata, and she's an attorney. And the email says the following: "Hi, Bill. I hope this email finds you well. We are working with National Grid Renewables regarding this proposed approximately 120 MW project in Madison County." She got the county wrong. She's talking about Delaware County, but she means Delaware. She said Madison. "Our client intends to make an application under the revised county ordinance in the early fall after expiration of the 90-day notice period to file." This next part's very important. She says, "We have spoken to John Brook. He has spoken to Brad Bookout. We have tendered the attached letter to Brad in hopes of taking the step in engaging Baker Tilly at project expense to study the anticipated investment in the county. The next step thereafter would be to discuss proposed economic development payments to the county as part of the negotiated tax abatement. John Brook asked me to reach out to you to inquire about or if you believe there is any reasonable possibility that the council might consider such a structured abatement, and if so, if you would be willing to convene the tax abatement committee after an application with Brad is made. Can you kindly let me know your thoughts on this? Happy to set a time with the client, Christina Blount, developer, who can share the draft site plans on screen. Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, Mary Salata. All right. That was sent to Bill Hughes. That's the very first email. That's the very first contact that Bill has had with this person, these people. So this was sent on Thursday, May 16th, 2024 at 11:52 a.m. Bill replies, and this is going to be a little bit more difficult for you guys to see because of how it is here. I'm going to have to pull this up so I can read it. 1 second. Okay. Bill replies by saying, first of all, this was sent on Friday, May 17th at 4 p.m. So he sent this the next day. And this is important. He sent this to Mary, and he also carbon copied Brad Bookout, Jessica Piper, Ben Freeman, and John Brook. So William Hughes sent back a response to Mary Salata, but he also copied in Bookout, Brad Bookout, Ben Freeman, Jessica Piper, and John Brook. And this is what Bill Hughes said. Miss Salata, thank you for reaching out to me. I assume the project is in Delaware County, not Madison County. In the future, please contact me via my council email. And then he gives the council email. He goes on to say, I cannot speak for the council regarding their opinion regarding tax abatement for this project. As you know, the most recent tax abatement granted to solar energy projects were somewhat controversial. All right. He lays that.
Fixed it, Christopher. You should be able to read off screen now.
Okay, got it. Good. Thank you. Okay. So he's saying here it's controversial. Okay. So then next he comes back and he says, if an application for tax abatement is filed, we will schedule a meeting of the tax abatement committee. Because the public interest in this type of development, I anticipate that meeting would be noted and by publication and open to the public. The committee's report is advisory only and not binding on the council. I have no opinion whether you should engage Baker Tilly. Their input would be considered along with other submissions to the committee and ultimately the council. This guy's good, okay? As you may be aware, the committee has been charged with proposing tax abatement guidelines for consideration by the council. The earliest those may be available would be the June 25th meeting of the council, and if adopted, would only apply to applications submitted after that date. As you are also aware, the council plays no role in land use decisions, nor is it a party to any economic development agreements, road use agreements, or decommissioning agreements. That being said, the council was not happy with the reimbursement language relating to the tax abatement, which appears in the Meadow Forge EDA. I hope this addresses matters. I hope this addressed the matters which are of concern to you, William V. Hughes. All right. So he sent that then on the 17th, to which she then finally responded on Monday, May 20th at 2:21. And she responded to Bill, and she also kept Jessica, Bookout, Freeman, and John Brook attached. She also added Maura Hoff from Defer Varan, and she also added the Christina Blunt, which is, I guess, is the person in charge or whatever their client. So there is the email chain. The first email that came out was an email, basically in the order I look at it, is the email from William Hughes saying this is what happened and here's the receipts. And then the next 3 emails explain what happened. Now, I'm interested in what your take is on this. But I'm telling you, in my opinion, what I think this means. This means, number one, I don't think Bill was doing anything nefarious. I think Bill, sitting around minding his own business, doing what he does, because he is the president and the chair of the council's tax abatement committee, he would and all kind of emails or communications like this from anyone else. The county attorney, John Brook, and the county economic development face, Bradley Bookout, were both involved with this company. At least we have proof of them being involved in May of 2024. James King says the company was in the area and doing things since 2020. I have no proof of that, so I'm not going to say that's true or not true until I have some kind of proof of that. But what I do have proof of, is the fact, and take this to the bank, ladies and gentlemen, that National Grid Renewables were talking to John Brook and to Bradley Bookout. Why does that matter? Why does that matter? Why does Tim Nickum write in here and say it means our commissioners lied to our faces again? Let me tell you why. Because King sat in there on Tuesday and said, I didn't know anything about this. Well, for those that might not know or who are new to this, it is important to understand that Commissioner James King is extremely close with a county employee and former Democrat politico called Mike Jones. I don't know if they're best friends or what the deal is, or if they're like one of them feels sorry for the other and just saying, I don't know what the deal is. But there is some kind of a friendship connection between the two, and there's a bond there. Mike Jones has his job doing what he does because of James King right now. He has been able to keep the position that he has, a position that literally no one else would have, a position that makes no sense to have. He has done outrageous and outlandish things and still been permitted to keep his take-home vehicle, to get paid his money, to do his barely survivable, do nothing job. Okay? King and Mike Jones are thick as thieves. But what's Mike Jones got to do with anything? Well, Mike Jones is the father-in-law of Bradley Bookout. Bradley Bookout is the son-in-law to Mike Jones. Bradley Bookout is the Delaware County redevelopment person, the economic development person, and he has an office in the Innovation Connector. And in that office, he works with a man called Bill Walters. Bill Walters was James King's campaign manager. James King is so tied to these individuals that as an elected county commissioner running for re-election, King's office and his campaign phone number and everything related to his re-election campaign tied back to Bill Walters and the office that he shares with Brad Bookout. Very questionable, all of this. Brad Bookout has a job where he is making hundreds of thousands of dollars off of his connections to James King in Delaware County. He is making money hand over fist. He's one of the highest paid people in Delaware County. Right? Right, Chief Muncie? So listen to what I'm telling you. James King and Bookout are thick as thieves. John Brook is the county commissioner, the ex-county commissioner, who's now the county commissioner's attorney. He runs those meetings. He and King are thick as thieves. No pun intended, pun very much intended, whatever. They're thick as thieves. If John Brook knew about National Grid Renewable, whatever the hell their name is, if John Brook knew that Company A was coming into Delaware County and looking to do solar project in the Royerton, Hamilton Township area, if John Brook knew that, James King knew it. If Bradley Bookout knew it, James King knew it. If Brook and Bookout both knew about this, King knew it. So for James King to sit in front of all of those citizens on Tuesday and say, I didn't know anything about this, we didn't know anything about this, folks, you can take to the bank that he was lying. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Okay. Well, it means the tax abatement never went through. Nothing went through with that. We know nothing's went through with that. Now we have a 6-month-long moratorium. For whatever reason we got the moratorium, whether they did it to shut people up, whether they did it because King didn't want to hear anybody until he left office, no matter what reason it happened, it is here. Because the citizens are not done with the fight, because they're very much alive in the fight still, I fully believe that this is the first step to defeating this. Now, King is on his way out. King is on his way out. He's beat. He's defeated. He's done. But if King can easily and openly lie like that, and Shannon Henry not call him out, Shannon Henry is just as bad. Let me go a step further. If John Brook and Bradley Bookout knew about this, and King knew about this, Shannon Henry knew about this. So everybody out there, I want you to be aware that when you're doing work with the commissioners, you're doing work with people who will lie to you. Now, I didn't need this email to know this. I knew this about King and Shannon Henry to begin with. It's just a fact. It's like a fact. I did not need this for that. I just knew it. But I'm telling you people involved in the Gaston fight, all of you people who are saying, well, we need to ease up on them. We need to do this. This is important for you guys to know. There's no reason to be rude. There's no reason to be crazy. I'm not talking about being violent. I'm not talking about losing your mind and doing stupid things. I'm talking about being smart, being methodical, taking it to them. Do not let up the full court press. You have got to keep pushing. King lied to you. King lied to me. King lied to all of us. King lied to his supporters. King lied to the people that he doesn't like. King lied to the people that don't like him. But he's out. But you've still got to deal with Sherry. You've still got to deal with Shannon. And they own as much of this as King does. They own just as much as King does. So you got to keep that in your mind. And when something happens and you're like, oh, see, it's working out. Let's break bread and be nice and everything's going to be kumbaya. No, it's not. They're going to lie to you. They're going to do whatever they can to save their ass. Sherry Riggin doesn't get a pass. As sweet as she is, she remains silent when she knows the real truth, and it's different from what is presented. Yes, no question. No question. That's exactly. Absolutely. I just... That's absolutely. Shannon wanted to extend it to 35,000 acres. Don't forget that. Remember, folks, remember when I said, oh, they gave the moratorium last time. They gave a year-long moratorium last time, and they said, hey, let's do this committee where we're going to put these people in place, and it's going to be wonderful. No. They didn't listen to anything from that committee. That was a farce to keep the people at bay, to keep them quiet, to keep them subdued while they could lie to them some more. So I'm going to post this on social media. I'm going to put the emails out there so everyone can have them. Ryan Webb did a video on this earlier. check out that video. You guys should definitely hear what he has to say. It is very important. And the thing is, the thing is, you have to tell yourself, even when they smile to my face and they're doing something that I think that they're doing for us, they're not. And even though we can use the moratorium to our favor, to our advantage, never confuse the fact that they did not do this moratorium for you. They didn't. I want you, give me a second. I want you guys to hear this just for a second. Yeah, listen, Delaware County has to be, they have to be aware of what's going on. Now Delaware County is on full alert of their corruption. They have to be. Listen. How do you listen to what King said and say, oh, that's okay, this doesn't mean anything? And, oh, here's the important role. Let me tell you why he did this. I'm going to tell you why I think James King did this. And I think it's all for spite. Because back in February and March of last year, or in April, or whenever that was, maybe it was this year, whenever the tax, I guess it was the beginning of this year, whenever the tax abatement stuff was going down, and Bill Hughes became extremely upset with the fact that the commissioners were doing things outside of their power. He, being Bill Hughes, said things that I think made King mad. He wasn't rude. He wasn't out of control. He was simply just speaking the truth. And James King, I think, couldn't handle that. I don't think that he was happy with what Bill said. And I want to take you back real quick, because these are just very quick shorts. And you can hear right here what Bill said. This was January 23rd of this year. January 23rd. Listen to this. This is Bill Hughes. Oh, amazing.
If this were invoked, it would be a horrible resort for the county.
If this were invoked, okay, if this happened, if this were revoked and this happened, this would be horrible results for the county. James King, why did you agree to this? Shannon Henry, why did you agree to this? Sherry Riggin, why did you agree to this? I want to listen to it one more time.
If this were invoked, it would be a horrible resort for the county.
If there it is.
Wait.
Okay.
If this were in,
Let's that's short number one. He said that back in January. Okay. Here's the next one.
so it would be a substantial cost to the county.
Why did our commissioners stick us with this? Why did John Brook, their attorney, tell them that this was okay? Why did James King sign his name with his grubby little hands on the document? Why did Shannon Henry agree to this? Why did Sherry Riggin agree to this? What were you guys thinking? What's the game plan? What's going on? What's going on behind the scenes? What were you guys promised? What's going on here? You guys can't be this stupid. Okay, and then the last one.
The third thing that
Oh, there's a third thing. The third thing
occurs to me here is that this agreement was signed by the company and the county commissioners.
it was signed by the company and the county commissioners. And for all those playing at home, I want to remind you that the county commissioners are the executive body. All right. Listen to what Councilman Attorney Hughes says.
And I don't know, and I haven't done research, we would leave this up to the council's attorney and Mr. Brook, the county attorney, to look into. I don't know how the county commissioners have the authority to grant a tax credit.
If Steve Brand is smart, he'll pound King into the dirt with this, and he'll walk straight in to a victory. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
The third thing
There's a third thing. The third thing. That's the statements that Bill Hughes made during a couple different meetings back during the first of the year when James King was running for re-election, when what happened was Bill's comments were making King look bad, and King took offense to it. And I think that this was a chance to get Bill back, because what King said, listen, King said two things in his speech during Tuesday's meeting. One of them he lied about, and one of them he was purposefully kind of vague about. When he says, we didn't know anything about this, I didn't know anything about this, bullshit. There's no way. There is no way he did not know anything about this, period. But as far as saying, well, they talked to Counselor Hughes, yeah, I guess technically that's correct. Now, he made it seem like it was something that was ongoing, because you even heard him. He's like, I don't know if it's still going on now or not. I have no idea. I don't know that. I don't know if it is or not. I have no idea. Bullshit. Because Bill Hughes, in every one of his emails that he sent back to that lady, he copied King in on. King was aware. He copied John Brook on. John Brook was aware. He copied Jessica Piper on. Folks, there's lots of people that knew about this. It wasn't just the commissioners. Jessica Piper knew about this. And let me tell you something here really quick before we go on to talk about the county budget stuff. Just real briefly here, I want to say this. King is out the door. King's gone. King is gone. Brand is coming in, and we'll see what goes on. King is out the door. You don't have a chance to vote for anybody to beat Sherry. That chance came and went in May, and you lost it. You blew it. It's gone. She's who we have for the next 4 years. You got to suck it up and take it. Shannon Henry, you won't have a chance to vote for him until the spring of 2026. Okay? So that's that. However, Brand is going to take the seat in the commissioner's seat, and hopefully he'll be able to break Sherry away, but he'll be the one man out against those two. So he'll have to do some finagling and using his brain powers. But let's talk about the council for a second. The council, ladies and gentlemen, Bradley Bookout is still in the running to become a Delaware County councilor. So try this on for size. Think about having someone on the council who is smart. He's no dummy. He's wickedly smart. Think about having him on the council, doing his little thing that he does, prompting and pushing Jessica to be more Jessica-like. And at the same time, Bookout will have connection to all of the economic development stuff because he's the economic development director, and no one sees any harm, no foul with that. He'll be able to bring stuff in and do things that no one else has been able to do, because to me, it's outside of what should be normally allowed. This should be illegal, but it is what it is. So please understand that you have the ability to remove Bookout and don't give him a chance to win. Don't let him win. Don't allow him to win. Don't help him win. Go into the Delaware County Council at-large race and go in and vote for Roger Overby. Vote for Eugene Whitehead. Vote for Jessica Piper over Bookout. But there's nothing wrong about going in and voting for Overby and Whitehead, or just going in and voting for Overby. You can leave the other two blank. Just don't go in and vote for Bookout. Don't go in and say, well, that's a name that I know. You have to get rid of Bookout. We have to not allow him to win. That election is coming up, folks. Okay, so that's that. I will be sharing more about this. I will post this information out there. We'll see what we can do to help spread this word. We'll make posts. You got to share this information out there, folks. Please share this video. Share this video. Get this information out there. 3 council seats. They're all at large. All 3 council at large seats. So, yeah, you've got to get that done. Okay. Now, I do just briefly want to talk about the council meeting from today and what was going on in this council meeting. Boy, I've got to tell you, we're in trouble next year. I hate saying that over and over and over and over and over, but we are in trouble. We are in trouble. Bookout should never have been allowed to be on the ballot. He should never have been allowed to be on the ballot. That's how he won. They cheated and left him on the ballot.
Yes, they have all these parties that are involved, and there's a lot of confidential information as well. So we need those tables to actually be moved this way, perpendicular with the room. They're perpendicular now. I'm trying to think back. It's been a minute. So the tables are this way with the room, where most courtrooms they're this way. So people can see things. So we need to kind of turn them this way. That takes wiring. We got to move electrical, all that stuff. The other thing is the carpeting. It's original carpeting. It's coming up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Kind of got
so this is Emily Anderson.
They're having all kinds of issues.
She's the court administrator, and she's
Is she the TV lady?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, now they're doing a whole redesign.
Oh,
They need a whole that's stripped and redone completely.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
This woman, you can't ever give this woman enough money. Now, listen. I get it. I understand. She's there fighting for her people. I get it. I'm not mad at her. She's doing what she needs to do until, man, she got way out of line today. She got so out of line. I was having people message me and saying, what is this woman doing? This woman, she is so out of line. Listen to this.
That needs to be assistant court reporter, bailiff.
Same as 113.
Yes. And then 162, 101, when you're ready.
Case manager.
Is probation case manager.
Okay.
And not officer.
165, 101. Just because it's grown even since I turned in budgets. And then for 2024, and it can only be 50% of our total salaries. But what that does is it frees up money in county general of what we're using.
People can't get waited on. It's the fact that they can't get people in the front door.
Okay, yeah, here we go.
You're one of the most knowledgeable department heads. You have a good grasp, not just your department, but most of the departments. If you stand up next to those people, you pretty much know every line item and the dollar amounts and all that. And I commend you for that. This is a direct result. We're all part of the team that contributes to our finances. So what happens with tax money, government money, a lot of the times is people, it's a mad dash, it's a mad grab, who can get what? I want computers, I want carpet, I want cameras, I want this and that, and people submit it, and councils approve it. When those types of things that I view as wants, not needs, sometimes they're needs, that takes away from being able to recognize, and you're right, you guys are underpaid. Everybody's underpaid.
But
let me finish. And I'm not opposed to you guys getting the money. Absolutely not.
It gets real heated here.
I'm not even opposed to, if we did everything necessary and there was nothing left, to raising the lit tax to make it happen. If that was our last option left, I'm speaking for myself.
Here's understanding. I want you to understand what's going on.
we-
She wants the council to raise the lit tax. She wants the council to raise taxes. And Ridenhour's involved and Jessica's involved, and they're all kind of lying to each other and throwing everybody under the bus, and all this crazy crap's happening, and everybody's wanting somebody else to make the move and shoot the shot to get the lit up so we can get more than what we've got, and they don't want to be the one to do it. They want someone else to do it, and she's in here saying, I don't care who does it, let's just get it done. And Ryan is the only person here saying, wait a minute, aren't we Republicans? Isn't this made up of all Republicans? Why are we trying to grow government and spend and raise taxes? We are the most un-Republican group of Republicans to Republican, and it's insane what they're all trying to do.
Haven't put in the hard work yet and made the tough decisions to cut the necessary wasteful spending, positions that are open that aren't being filled, to free up that money that could be used to pay you guys. And until we're willing to do that, that's why I'm closed on the lit tax. In my opinion, we could cut 10% out of this entire book if we wanted to get down to business and really make the tough decisions. Then we wouldn't need to do no lit tax. That's why I've always taken the position that until we do this, there's no sense in doing that, because that's the easy way. I know you said it's a hard decision, but it's not. It's really the easy decision. This is the hard decision.
Can I respond?
Please.
I'm going to respectfully disagree. We cut
course.
our staff and everything we could cut in 2008. We've not gained most of that back. Like I said, I have 1.5 staff when I used to have 4.
You're right. Some departments have done a good job with it.
We have. And so when you sit up there and say, cut, get rid, trim, we've done that. I'm still all the office supply budget from 2008, 2010. Okay, so we've done everything you've asked us to do. And you say, we still need to cut.
There's certain departments that have done it. I bet there's
But why
50
do we all get
employees with
punished?
take-home vehicles.
But
Not
why do
just
we
like
get
$40,000
Okay.
Acuras. I'm talking $80,000 luxury
But
vehicles.
I should not get punished.
I'm saying you are, but that's
But I
all
am.
part of the kitty.
But I am.
And when we have wasteful spending like that across the board, unfortunately, people who shouldn't be affected get affected.
And I know there's a lot of people that have done what they can do to make sure that we're doing what is supposed to be done, to make sure we're spending dollars in a way that is responsible.
I know a lot of people have done what they can do to make sure we're doing what is supposed to be done. I'll tell her that's probably true. And she's talking about her fellow department heads, her fellow appointed officials. What I wish Ryan would have said, and he kind of says it, is he says something to the effect of, or he should have said, like, but I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about as us, the council, because at the end of the day, the employee's job is to come in and say, hey, this is what we want. It's the council's job to say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make the budget. And if we've got to be the bad guy, we've got to be tough, we'll do it. But they all spend so much time trying to pander and not do what they're supposed to be doing. Ryan's the only one that seems to be willing to do it.
Because it is public money. And so when we all are doing our best with what we have, and we come to you and say, please do this, and you say, we just don't have the money, and that's all we hear, we start losing. I know for a fact, I've got employees that they're already saying, if we don't get this, we don't get a livable wage, I've got to go somewhere else. It's not a threat, it's just a must. They're at a point in their life that I cannot live.
I agree with you. I think we can obtain
Horrible.
that
I'm
without
losing
the tax
so
cut.
much knowledge and expertise. And here's the thing, I don't even know if I can replace them, because the skill set that I get with these applications for the salary I have cannot make it. It's not being mean, it's they don't have the skill set to be able to work in the court and what they need to be able to do. So what's going to happen is they're going to come in, I'm not going to be able to have a full staff, and our court's going to stop. We're not going to be able to run court, or we're not going to be able to run court like we are, and then everything's going to slow down, and all this court stuff's going to, cases are not going to get resolved. Prosecutor,
listen to this threat.
Like all this stuff's going to crumble. That's my point. And when you
all of it's going to crumble,
trim, we've done it.
So what I'm saying is, I'm in agreement with you I believe we can get to the same number that you're requesting without the lit tax, is what I'm saying.
Well, if you say that, why haven't you done it?
Because he's one person. Look at everybody else having their heads down. You know, they're checked out.
If you feel like these people can cut in their budgets more, please have them come up here and tell where they can cut. Because everybody I talk to say we are where we are, because you still have to be operational. You still have to be able to operate with the things you have, which we all do it on pretty shoestring budgets.
I know when we cut back quite a bit, I think it was in 08, everybody said the same stuff. We're not gonna make it. It's not gonna happen. And it was a little tough road, but we made it. It happened. We trimmed the budget. It could be done. I've seen it be done. I've seen it be done in the private sector. It just requires people making the tough decisions and then people getting used to when you're in an 8-person office doing it with 6 people.
We've already, but that's my point. We're already at that point. We've already done that.
But some haven't. Some have cut those positions and then added them back plus some.
Here we go.
So that's what I'm talking about. It's not an across the board thing because it doesn't apply across the board.
But we've also had bigger caseloads. I mean, I can speak for the courts. Our workload's gone up. I'm doing a lot more work than my predecessor. And I'm doing it with less people.
No arguments for me. I agree with you. I think you're doing
So
great.
court workload's gone up.
What was the pay raise she
And
got?
the other department workloads have gone up.
Dude, I don't know is Ryan still here? It was insane. It was insane.
What was the pay raise she got? Yeah, that's my question.
Yeah, it was
Wasn't like-
really.
Hopefully Ryan's still here because I cannot remember, but it was some asinine number.
Yeah.
Because looking at 2024, she's the court clerk, right?
No. She's the court administrator.
Okay.
She makes 75,000, Ryan. But what did they push her last year when the judges came in and held you guys hostage? What did they want you to jump her to?
$40,000 raise, Dave Williams is saying.
So she went from, she was only making 35,000 and they jumped her to 40. They jumped her a whole person.
So she's the court secretary.
Yeah.
In the budget stuff that I'm reading.
Yeah.
So in the budget stuff, so next year her budget, she's budgeting herself 85,000, almost 86,000 for her salary.
Yeah.
Another $1,000 raise.
How much was it again?
It was 30K plus, Ryan is saying.
Ryan's saying 30. Yeah.
30K plus.
Last year.
Last year. So she makes 75 this year.
Yeah.
And next year she's asking for 86 as her salary. If you're making $86,000, guess what? There's $10,000 that you could be putting towards employees right there. You already got a $30,000 raise. I think you could forgo 1 year and put it towards something else instead of standing there bitching.
Yeah. Listen. She's not done yet.
Oh, she's.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing it because we have to, but we should be compensated for that. If you're not going to give us employees, we should at least be compensated for that. And if we're not compensated, I'm going to lose more, and then everything's going to crumble. That's
I've
my
said
point.
it many times. My ideal solution to your issue is to eliminate a good 30 positions in this entire county from attrition and open positions. We have 30 open positions right now that's not being filled, that people are still getting the work done. So instead of hiring those people, The job's already getting done without them.
Well, I can
My
tell you,
position is to take that money and pay you guys, the guys who are here.
but I had a position open I could not fill, but I need that position.
Doing it without it
But
right
we
now.
aren't. It does affect the workload. It does affect the court. We aren't doing the work to the highest ability that we could do efficiently without that person, Ryan. That's what you don't understand. We're making it, but we're not making it like we should. We need that position. We can't fill it because we're not getting the applicants that we need. And I'm not going to just fill it with somebody else that's I'm going to have to get let go because they're not able to do the job.
I think you see that in the.
How is that
private
the
sector.
council's fault?
Yeah, right.
I think we all, from time
Yeah.
to time, go to restaurants, and I think from time to time, we sit and we want to complain about the service. It's not the establishment's fault
For sure.
that
Here
people
she
can't
gets
get
ready to
waited
blow
on.
up. Listen to
It's
what
the fact that
she,
they can't get
listen to
people
the back
from
and
front
forth
door
about the
to wait on
judges.
these people.
Ryan is
So they're
spot
short-handed.
on with
At the
this.
end of the day, are 6 people doing the work that probably 8 people should be doing? Yes. Are they doing it very efficiently?
No.
No. Is the job getting done? Yes. And then people come in, and because they're having to wait, I'm talking about, like in a restaurant environment, they don't come back because they can go somewhere else and possibly get better service, and possibly they do have to pay a little more money. And so there comes a point, I understand what you're saying, there comes a point of where efficiency, it's easy to say, cut, but if you can't deliver the product at the end efficiently, and I've seen it happen in my own business when I had a business, people will leave if they're working under too much pressure. It's just
Common
so,
sense.
I don't know.
Thank you for that,
And
Jim.
they can't go somewhere else.
Here we go.
Right? The government's stuff. Like I'm going to go to this government instead because they're not getting. They can't go somewhere else. And work product is going to be affected by morale and pressure and being underpaid, and it does. It affects it. I guarantee that the work product we get now is different than what we got before because people don't feel appreciated.
I don't feel like, and I'm speaking again just for myself, and I'm going to be contrary with many people on this board, and I apologize for that. I almost feel like because of the many things that you have just cited, you're doing things back in today that you were doing back in 2010 or 2012, and I almost feel like we're holding many of the employees hostage by not looking for other options that could be available to us. I know it's not what many of the people on this council want to hear, but I guess that's my position. I agree 100%, Ryan, that if there are areas that can additionally be cut, those need to be looked at. I am, as I'm sure everybody else on the panel here would agree with that. I think we locked in everything last year from the year before, and as far as many of the expenses are concerned. But I think it does come a point in time when even the product that you're buying, whether it's paper, whether it's pens, whatever it is, those continually go up. And to think that we can run that same budget this year that we had 5 years ago just doesn't seem practical.
I appreciate that.
Here we go.
And I appreciate Mr. Mokel's comments as well. All I'm saying, this is the point I've said it from this very chair before, through experience myself. When I was a quality inspector at Progress Rail, I hired in, there were 4 inspectors. I was the 4th. When I left, all 3 of them other ones were gone. I was the last one there doing the job that 4 of us used to do. And I felt like I was drowning for the first 3 minutes, and then my thing stabilized. I got my legs under me, and then I was efficient, and I did the work that 4 of us used to do. I've seen it. I know it can be done. And I'm not saying that it's not difficult. That's why they call it work. But if you want to get paid, I'm all about helping you get paid.
But it's
not
gotta
at
be
the
a
expense
livable
of raising
wage.
taxes. I'm all about paying you your request.
Yeah.
I just think we can do it without raising taxes. That's all I'm saying. I agree with you
Okay,
100%
then
on that.
you say you can do it without raising taxes. then why haven't we done it yet?
I've already covered that.
I don't think.
I don't think you're asking,
agree
I
with
mean, I
that.
can only answer for myself.
I'm just saying you give every year, it's
Here
everybody
it
gets
is.
hopeful, and every year we get let down and we get told the same thing. And I would implore you to look at something different this year.
All I'm seeing.
The judges have told me that they are in a position that they're not really going to accept another no.
Okay, so how does that?
The judges have told me they're not going to accept another no. She's telling them, the judges have told me they're not going to let you guys tell us no. Listen to this. This is where it comes off the rails.
Work. You come in here, you hold us hostage, you back us
You're
against
holding
the
us
wall last year,
hostage.
and you say,
I'm
if
just
you don't
passing
do it,
along
we're
the
gonna take you to
information.
court. If we don't
I
do
was
this,
told
this,
to
this,
tell that.
I'm just passing along the information. Now she acts all like she doesn't know what she just did, and she doesn't understand why Ryan is now fired up. She knows exactly what she did. I'm honestly surprised it took so long for her to play that that card. All right.
I'm
they
sure they
would-
sent you to be their muscle,
They
but I'm
did.
telling you, I'm fed up with hearing their muscle and back us against the wall.
They just
That's
said,
not gonna move the needle with me.
I know. I'm just saying what they told me. They really.
Well, you tell them this. I'm not gonna react to that
I
at all.
understand. I'm just saying they are saying they
I'm
are
tired of being
tired.
held hostage up here on this council.
Listen,
The people who think they have the
I
upper
wish you
hand
would
on
calm
us
down
when
so I
they
can-
don't. We set the salaries. We set the job descriptions. We set the number of employees.
yes.
Nobody's backing us in the wall again.
I'm not backing you into a wall. I'm saying what they told me. They do not want another no. We've been told no, no, every year, no, 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 and they don't want another no.
Okay.
That's
And
all
what
they're
I've said
saying.
is, let's eliminate some of these positions that aren't
That's
being
not up to
filled.
me.
It's up to us. But
Right.
when we bring that up, we can't do it. We can't do it. You gotta help me help
Okay,
you.
but I don't think that's the whole thing. If we're telling you we have to have this many employees to function, and you just don't think that's reasonable, have you come to my work and seen my work and what I do on a daily basis, or my core
Wow.
staff? Not one person in this council has been in my work. Nobody's come and visited me. Nobody's stepped a foot in my door and seen what we do on a daily basis. So you just sit up there and say, you can go without a person is crap.
You do it.
You cannot say that. You've never came.
You see it. You come up here, you have open positions for half the year. You're doing it without the person.
We're not doing it
You're doing it.
correctly. We are not giving the public a good service the way they should be served. When their court cases are lingering, when things aren't getting done, when you don't know what we do on a daily basis, to sit there and say, you can do it with less people, when you don't know what we do, when you don't know how we have to work every day, you don't know.
Yeah.
So you to sit up there and say, I know you can do it with less people, when you don't even know what we do. You've never even come out. You've never even asked to come out. You've
Okay.
gone to others, but not ours.
I think we can, I
Yeah.
think we can kill this dead horse at this point relative to that. Emily, you're not wrong about that. And part of the challenge of being on county council is the fact that we do not see day to day
You don't.
what happens. So every request that gets made is, and I just said this to Eugene and to Jessica.
break.
There you
about the
go.
fact
That was the big blow
um,
up between Ryan and Emily. And then later on in the meeting, ladies and gentlemen, there is we won't we'll just spend just a second longer on this.
The only reason
Here's the blow up between Ed and Ryan.
If you can see them,
Or is somebody able to tell me how much we paid Becker Tilly in 2024? Total, not just in this line.
I didn't bring this paper.
I believe so.
We just covered that.
Well, I asked, but we didn't have a number to say.
You did?
I think we did. I thought you were gonna get that number for us.
No, that was finance, and then I brought it back.
Okay.
I thought.
I don't recall us having that discussion.
I would remember.
I thought I got that.
we had that discussion, but I don't remember a number.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know what? The papers are probably laying on my desk. so.
Get that after bed.
This last invoice, I believe we received like a 41% discount.
thousand and change.
Job and they sit here with us. I know that's part of it.
But they're getting paid their hourly rate.
They're not doing their regular job. I'm just saying this is what has been explained to me over the past 8 budgets.
This is what I was gonna bring up a second ago. I got the
And this
book.
is outside of county general.
This is the book from, my book from 2022, which is just 3 short years ago. And the total for this was 45,000, now it's 93. I get things go up, but there was stipend was nowhere, anywhere in this book. Now, almost every department, I'm seeing stipend. And I brought this up a year or two ago when we first did the stipend. And I said, this cannot be a mechanism to basically give bonuses out or increase pay because we can't do it through the base salary. And it's all over the place. And it wasn't anywhere. Donna was the only one I think who got one back then. And now almost every employee is breaking it down for a stipend.
There's 9 departments with stipend line items.
And then in addition to that,
9 funds, I should.
there's already significant, we're doing the pay increase this year, trying to get people back. These stipends were invented in an era to help offset that money not being right. If we get the money right, why are we still doing stipends?
We don't have the money right
Right.
yet.
When
Ed is asking for like crazy
you
amounts
put
of
in
money.
for an increase for yours,
I did.
which was 25%, 14,000.
He's asking for a $14,000 raise
47%
for himself
That
and a
would-
$19,000 raise for his chief deputy. And this is the man who can't pay the credit cards, who can't figure out the county employees' taxes, who doesn't work for the citizens, who sets his ass in his office for the majority of his time in the office and does Republican Party business in county government seat during county government time. And he thinks he deserves a 25% raise.
In my opinion, that would be the money being right. If we give it anywhere remotely close to
Once
these
it's approved, then I would.
salaries, it would, in my opinion, make these stipends non-existent.
I think your statement's premature at this point.
And the previous ones, pretty much all of the overtime and the part-time money was paid out of this ineligible standard deduction. For example, this one line item right here, we got 10,000 for part-time. I think it was just last month, we had to appropriate $30,000 for part-time in addition to the 10,000 that was appropriated last year. So we know that's not gonna be enough. It's gonna need $40,000 probably next year for part-time. There's another 15,000 for overtime. Why wouldn't we use this ineligible standard deduction for things like that? Part-time, overtime, that will then free up the general fund budget to do things that we need to do it with.
Crazy thought.
To me, that's what we should do with a fund like
I
this.
believe if we look at that budget, we have been.
Say again?
But I don't believe we appropriated 30,000.
Pretty sure we did. just last
So
month.
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan's been holding his own.
Job that they were doing.
Yeah.
Sure.
The 9:30 is what I have.
Okay.
They've not hardly been cutting enough. I don't know what they're doing.
Part of the reason for the request to modify the ordinance is to make sure that there are certain pieces of information that come through the auditor's office as a.
They're gonna
All the information for the audit, which is a lot of information. I might be able to send out some emails.
they're gonna have to at some point get to the business of getting the budget tightened down, or they're not ever gonna get there. And the problem is, under Jessica's lead as president, this is day 2. And ladies and gentlemen, the first day they were there for 13 hours and they did nothing. They did nothing the first day they were there. Nothing the first day they were there. It was nuts. Absolutely crazy. I'm shocked that they go in there and they spend that much time and then they they don't actually do anything. They listened to everybody tell them that they needed money when they were already looking at they've already looked at the budget that's written down. They already know that. They already have those numbers. So going in and listening to all of the department heads come in and say, this is the money that we need, it's in the book. There's no reason that they need the book and then they need to go in and listen for 13 hours to hear the same thing. They need to get that book. They need to research that book for a week on their own, and then they need to go in and start doing the work on day one. Jessica has never done that. She was trained by Scott. Scott didn't do that. I have never understood why they make the budget process so long and drawn out the way they do. It's absolutely insane. It's amazing to me the amount of money that they are in charge of and the amount of work that they do. It's very much like the city, what the city does, and the city spends a fraction of the time. If you compare the amount of time that the city of Muncie does with what they do with their budget, and you compare it to what Delaware County does, or hell, even Henry County or Madison County, it's insane. We were 6 hours behind when we went to lunch today. Ed wants to hire a new employee. What's it called, Ryan? What is it called? The auditor, I forget what he called it. It's like the quality control compliance deputy. They want to make sure that everyone's complying with what they should be. Ryan said, "Isn't that what you do?" And Ed's like, "Well, I'm oftentimes here till 8 o'clock at night." Ryan had to remind him that no one pointed a pow-pow at him and said, "Hey, we're dragging your ass in here." He signed up to run for this position. He did this. He wanted this position.
And not only that, he signed up to run when he knew he couldn't lose.
Yeah, right. The man has never won. The man is sitting in office and he has never won an election. You're like, wait a minute. How is that accurate? How could that be? He has never beat an opponent. He has always won when no other person ran. He was the treasurer. Then he caucused into the auditor spot. Insane what they've got going on. Insane. Absolutely nuts. And Jessica saved him. Well, and that's the thing. Jessica and they're tied because not only are they Republicans in here together, but they are Republican leadership. He, of course, is the county Republican chair, and she is the vice chair. So, folks, we've got more to do with this. We've been going at this right out about an hour. It has been a busy week. I know you guys are tired. I'm getting tired. I'm going to let you guys go. I waited to the very end to tell you we are going to be here this weekend. I have not talked to Kate about this yet. I got to find out what she's doing, but hopefully she'll be around at least one of the nights with me. I think there is a slight possibility that at some point we can put out content, maybe both days. I'll let you guys know. I know Catherine's going to be on one of the days. We'll find out what's going on. I don't want to ruin Kate's entire weekend, but we'll figure out what's going on. So we'll see.
My weekend is sitting at the house while my husband's at the
shit, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So if anybody needs any pew-pews,
yeah.
You're going to want to go to Indy because they are doing the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show this weekend. Trigger Outdoor Sports is going to be there, and they have got 34 tables. And as far as I understand, they're taking somewhere between 900 and 1,000 weapons. So they will have a nice wide selection for everyone cooking tomorrow. No, we did our cooking yesterday. We canned spaghetti sauce. Liam and I had a grand old time making a mess of the kitchen. It was so as I said, Indy 1500, good times. Thornburg will be there. They're going to have some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll be here, needless to say.
Okay. Well, we'll see what goes on. Because we've just got a lot of stuff to talk about. I know there's going to be things that's coming out tomorrow. And we've still got to get, we still got to get to the city's crap. I got to let you guys know because I've sent some weird ass emails to the city. I've got some stuff going on with the city. We finally got the actual budget from the city. So, yeah, we'll do that. We definitely will be on tomorrow. So be here tomorrow. It's Friday, 9 p.m. tomorrow. We will be here. We will see you guys tomorrow. And then we'll get ready for that. We'll get everything done. We'll get ready for next week. Next week's a busy week because Thursday is the rainwater deal. And man, it's government and politics time in Delaware County, Muncie, Indiana, Madison County, Henry County, East Central Indiana, the United States of America. It is a busy, busy time. Damn it. We still have to do the Basham thing. All right. No matter what happens, first thing tomorrow, we do the Basham thing. That'll be the very, very first thing that we take care of tomorrow. That will be the Basham thing tomorrow. We will take care of that. What's the Basham thing that you might ask? Well, ladies and gentlemen, today is Thursday the 5th, which means we are 248 days without correspondence from one of our elected officials. I sent emails out to them today. That today is one of the hard days. I sent an email out. I've got some correspondence back. I have not got anything back from Mr. Basham. It's gross. It's bizarre. It's weird. 248 days. Today is Thursday, September 5th. We are 249 days into the year, 249 days into his term, and 248 days without communication. The first day doesn't count. That's when I sent the first email, and we started counting on day 2. No communication, and I have got a plan for this upcoming council meeting, and I will let you guys know about it on Sunday. So that's going to do it for the show tonight. You guys have been fantastic. Hey, please do me a favor, hit the like on your way out, and above all else, all that matters is that you share this show. Share tonight's episode because the word needs to get out. We need to get the word out on this episode so people can hear the information about James King and everything that was going on with that. All right, you guys have been fantastic. Love you. Take care of yourselves. God bless each and every one of you. Good night. You know,